There's been many disappointing teams in college football this season, but I don't know if there's a more disappointing team in college football than the West Virginia Mountaineers. West Virginia sits at just 3-3 right now, and expectations heading into the season were very high for West Virginia. They were 9-4 last season, and many people consider them to be contenders in the Big 12. I even predicted them to win the Big 12 this season, but that has just certainly not been the case at all. They had a huge home game to start off the season against Penn State, and they got blown out by the Nittany Lions. And a few weeks later, they were up 10 against Pittsburgh with just a little over 3 minutes left, and they ended up losing that game. A lot of this has to do with Neal Brown. I think he's holding this Mountaineers team back. There's no reason West Virginia should be this bad with the players they have. Neal Brown has been the head coach for West Virginia since 2019. Neal Brown is 34-32 as a head coach for West Virginia, but 6 of those wins are against FCS opponents. If you take those wins away, he is just 28-32 as a head coach for West Virginia. Last season, where they went 9-4, that is their only season under Neal Brown where they have won more than 6 games in a season. Since Neal Brown took over in 2019, there has not been a single week where West Virginia has been ranked in the AP Top 25 or ranked in the College Football Playoff Ranking Top 25. Neal Brown has a conference record in the Big 12 of just 22-25. You're not going to be able to compete with some of these teams if you play out of conference like Penn State if you can't even compete in your own conference. With Texas and Oklahoma out of the equation in the Big 12 and moving to the SEC, it seemed like West Virginia had a good chance to maybe end up winning the Big 12 this season, but that has just not been the case. You can't be playing for championships if you can't even play for your own conference championship. Year after year, Neal Brown disappoints West Virginia fans constantly. West Virginia takes on ranked Kansas State this weekend, and the odds are Kansas State will probably end up beating the Mountaineers because West Virginia is just 3-16 against top 25 opponents under Neal Brown. That is absolutely unacceptable, especially when you look at some of the players that they have right now. West Virginia lost to undefeated Iowa State last weekend. Not many people expected West Virginia to win, but it's the fact of how bad they played. If there was better coaching involved, they maybe could end up beating the Cyclones. After Saturday's loss against Iowa State, Neal Brown was asked why should fans continue to show up and support a program who loses in big games, and this was his response. And Neal Brown said, quote, "I get that they want to win, but what I would say is, did they have a good time? Did they enjoy it? It was pretty good atmosphere. I'm assuming they had a pretty good time tailgating, so if they're in the deal for enjoyment, then I would come back. I looked at the weather and it's going to be nice again." That is just something so ignorant and so stupid you could say for a head coach, and it shows just the lack of accountability for Neal Brown. Mountaineer fans have been fed up with Neal Brown for years now, and I really can't blame them. This has been one of the most disappointing seasons for West Virginia in recent memory, and a large part of that is due to Neal Brown. As long as Neal Brown is the head coach of West Virginia, the Mountaineer has never reached their full potential. Neal Brown should have already been fired years ago, and if they lose this Saturday against Kansas State, they should just go ahead and fire him so they have a head start on a head coaching search. West Virginia sits at 3-3 at the halfway mark of the season, and if they don't get their act together, there's a chance they might not even make a bowl game, which is just absolutely insane to think. Until they fire Neal Brown, they're going to continue to be mediocre. That about does it for this video. If you're new to my channel, or if you've seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time on the Sports 2 Hines Show.